So my sister-in-law, she's a big prankster, and she likes to pull a lot of pranks throughout the house. She gets me, she gets her mom, she gets everybody. But I'm sick of it, and I say, hey, I'm not really for this, can you stop pranking me? I mean, you're a grown woman. She doesn't care. Her mother says, oh, that's just how she is. If she's playing a prank on you, that means she likes you. Well, she's not an 8-year-old. So you know what I decide to do? I'm gonna do something drastic, and it's against the better wishes of everyone. And I don't care. Let's say somebody played a bad joke on you that really hurts you, but you understand that it was a joke. Then you decide to do the same to them, and obviously it hurts and embarrasses them. But instead of acting like you, they start complaining and demanding an apology, which were completely valid. What would you do? I guess it depends on what you did to them and what they did to you, right? Well, let me explain. My name's June. I'm 28, female. I live happily with my hubby, Leo. Well, was living happily until all this went down. We both have great jobs, and we rarely face any problems, so you can understand how kind life has been to us. Even his whole family loves me and cares about me. We live quite close to my in-laws, and my sister-in-law, she lives with them. She's the problem I'm here to discuss. Before marriage, everyone loved me and my sister-in-law, Britta. Just seemed like a great person, as we are the same age. I believed fully that we were going to become good friends and even sisters in the future, but I had no idea what her real personality actually was. My husband tried to warn me. He told me that Britta seems really nice and loving, which she is, but she's also very silly and kind of a prankster. He told me that if I started treating her like family, she would get comfortable with me and would joke around all the time. I first told him that if that was true, she would be very fun of a sister-in-law to have, so I didn't mind at all. I seriously believed that it was a good thing because I thought that would make her a really fun person, but it just made her annoying. So Britta, to this day, stays with her parents and rarely works. My in-laws are kinda wealthy, so she doesn't worry much about working hard and they don't push her. I've never even had a problem with this, and neither has my hubby, because he loves his sister and wants her to live an easy life. The parents also don't force her to work because they earn all this money for their children. So I personally think it's fine. But let me give you a fair warning. Hard work teaches you a lot of things and not just about working. Turns out it makes you a better person too. I only noticed that when I saw how my sister-in-law behaved. So even though Leo warned me, I still got close to my sister-in-law because why would I not? She was my age and was the only person in his family who could understand how I felt about a lot of things. So we became friends, and that was my first mistake. Because after that, she started openly disrespecting me and making fun of me. But it was not even like friends, because friends would see the time and place before doing that. She would make jokes at my expenses in front of relatives or friends or just family. She would weaponize stories I had told her against me and make fun of me. I really didn't like this, and obviously I couldn't tell my husband anything, as he would just say that I told you so. But even without me telling him anything, he spoke to her, but she just told him that we're friends and it works between us. Well, believe me, up until this point I had asked her countless times to not insult me like that in front of other people, but she would just apologize and say that she was joking and would not do it again. After she did it again, I would ask her, and she would promise the same thing and would just say that I could not get mad just because she made fun of me. I then spoke to my mother-in-law, Tina, who said that it was just her personality, and this meant that she clearly loved me. When she refused to do anything and my husband could not help, I decided that if she wanted to act like friends and make fun of me, I would do the same thing to her. Then I very quickly learned that she just likes making jokes at others' expenses and hates it when the situation gets reversed on her. At one family event, I made fun of her, and she looked visibly uncomfortable, but she could not say a word, not anything. The next time she made fun of me, guys, I tried to one-up her. So that's how our game of cat and mouse started, and it's only escalated over the past 2 years. I think she secretly hates me because I was only jokingly making fun of her, but she got really serious and starts pulling pranks on me. That's what's technically starting the butterfly effect that got us here. Okay, so I'm not going to waste your time when the small pranks she pulled on me. I'll just jump to the important stuff. So one day, several months back, Britta hid an important file. I needed and made my, go and just straight up tear apart my house for almost a day before revealing that she had kept it. For hours, I was stressed out. I was about to cry because I would lose my job if something had happened to it. But she just laughed and she returned it, and my husband got mad at her. But I stopped him. Now, until then, she had constantly pulled pranks on me, and I had done nothing because I didn't mind it much, and I let her have fun. But this was too much, so I decided that she needed to be taught a lesson. So about 2 months later, it was my in-laws' anniversary, and a lot of people were coming there. I decided that was the best place to pull a prank on my sister-in-law, as there would be a lot of eyes on her. I didn't want to do anything too bad to her, as I do care about her, and just wanted to experience how pranks make me feel. I wanted her to learn from this and understand that she needs to calm down and do something else. So I chose a bunch of harmless pranks that would not hurt her in any way, but I had no idea it would become a really embarrassing experience. So I started with the classic whoopee cushion. She was wearing this beautiful dress, which I later found out she had handpicked after weeks of searching. I didn't know this, okay? Otherwise, I would have called off the prank. The second prank, I had set up a whoopee cushion in her chair, and I thought she would just sit down, and a few people would see it and laugh, and it would be over with. Oh no, she didn't sit. Not for a while, and then only sat down when she had a microphone in her hands, and was talking about her parents' love. So everybody was looking at her, and as she sat down, yep, a huge poot echoed throughout the hall, and everyone laughed, and she looked like she had seen a ghost. Then she laughed too and took out the cushion and looked at me. I smiled and told her it was a joke, and she laughed and said, "Well done." She acted like everything was fine, and I think I should have stopped there, but I didn't. As I had forgotten, I planted a glass. Then during the celebration, she was given the glass that I planted, which was the type where you drink from it, you spill it everywhere, but it looks like a normal glass. And as she was about to take a sip, her father thanked her for arranging this. And as a lot of people turned their eyes over to her, she spilled the drink everywhere, all over her dress. At this point, it was pretty crystal clear that she was mad. But she didn't say anything after the party, but it turns out that she had already started planning something. A few months later, when I had forgotten that she might retaliate as things were great between us, she told me that she had accidentally gotten pregnant and needed my help. She made me promise not to tell anyone, and I didn't. Then for 2 weeks, she dragged me around and made me do stuff and help her all around while making excuses for her not drinking alcohol and hiding the secret. Guys, it was stressful, and I got so much involved. Then she asked for my help to explain to the family what happened and the fact that she wanted to raise the baby. Even though I was scared, I told my in-laws the truth, but she just laughed and told me it was a prank. Well, that really upset me and made me super mad because I did not deserve that, Now, this is where things changed, because after that, I was so mad that I ended up doing something even worse. Believe me, it was not my intention at all to do that. Well, you'll understand what I mean soon. About a few weeks after she told me it was a prank, I told Britta that I was a bit mad and wanted to make up with her. She agreed but refused to apologize, and I told her she didn't have to. I told her I didn't like it, but it was a joke. So I had to take it. We then went out and had a really fun night. Towards the end, I acted like I had gotten really drunk and just, to give her a false sense of trust, told her a few true things that she didn't know. Then I told her that I had a coworker who had been pestering me for a date for a long time. And a few days ago, I told him yes, and we were going to go to a restaurant tomorrow at 12 for lunch, and then maybe go to a hotel if things went well. I could see the sparkle in her eyes as she had discovered the best thing that she could find. Don't worry, I'd already told my husband about this, and he even recommended the guy who should play the fake date. Brian is one of our common friends, but Britta doesn't even know him. So the next day, I went on this date, and Britta showed up and clicked pictures of us. I had not actively been looking for her. I would never have found her. Now, I believe she was going directly to come to me with this and confront me, but she never did. So I thought she might have just understood it was a prank, and the both of us did not need to bring it up. But then, a few days ago, during a family event, she calls to make sure that me and Leo were coming, and there in front of everybody, she tried to expose me as a cheater. But as soon as she showed the photos, Leo just laughed and told her it was a week-old prank. But this time, Britta didn't take it like last time and gets really angry. She said that I had humiliated her again, and she was going to get me back one way or the other. Well, she then left angrily as a few people were laughing at the fact that she actually believed my lies. Well, every single person thinks that I went too far with this, and I don't think I did. You know, even my in-laws think so, and I believe that I need to apologize to my sister-in-law. I, on the other hand, think that I have done nothing wrong, as it was her decision to confront me publicly. I did not ask her to, but I'm confused. My husband says he's happy with me doing what I feel is right and is not going to force me to do anything. Should I just apologize so that I don't make my in-laws and the other members of my family mad? Or should I stand my ground? What do I do? Update number 1. Hey guys, so it's me, and yes, do I have an update. It's been over 2 weeks since my post, and let me tell you what happened. Britta has now crossed a line. Firstly, to everybody who tried to help me, thank you. Honestly, many of you guys are going to like what I did. Let me explain. I took over a week to think about what I should do because Britta was still not speaking to me, and many of my husband's family members were not happy with me. Genuinely, I didn't want to apologize at first, but after I read a lot of opinions, I realized I did cross a line indeed. I felt bad about everything that happened, and even if I had not meant to, I had made sister-in-law mad. I was ready to admit that I made a mistake. I didn't mind apologizing to her for this. I spoke with my husband and he told me he was fine with it either way. He actually blamed Britta more than me because she was the one who kept doing it even when I didn't want to. He told me if I wanted to apologize, it was fine, but he wasn't sure if his sister would so easily forgive me. That is what I was wondering too, as I knew exactly the kind of person she was and that she would never ever let me go so easily. She's always just been the type of person who would choose to always give out twice what she got rather than take the high road. But I didn't want things to stay as they were now, so I had a decision to make. One of you guys explained it better than I ever could. My sister-in-law only got humiliated because she chose to expose me in front of an audience instead of just confronting me like one-on-one. She wanted everyone to berate me for being a cheater and her brother to throw me out. And her hate was the reason she got embarrassed. Honestly, I believe that, but I wish I could act the same way as her and not care about her one bit. Because anybody who cares would not even do this to me ever. But no matter what happened, I decided to forget it all, apologize, and get it over with. But Britta had other plans, see? I spoke to my mother-in-law and asked her to keep Britta at home. And I went there with my husband, and she didn't even want to see my face, but I managed to force an apology in front of absolutely everyone. I told her that I had crossed a line. I had simply crossed a line by insulting her. I'm sorry for doing that, and I was never going to prank or joke with her ever again. I told her I just wanted us to be like sisters. I mean, I really did. Just be like sisters. Well, but her last prank had hurt me, and I was really mad at her and wanted to make her feel the same. I didn't even really try like an apology or anything like that, and never wanted one from her. She just asked me to watch my back as she was planning something, and no amount of crying could stop her from doing what she wanted to do. Yep, that's right. At this point, my in-laws were on my side and got mad at her for saying all that, but she just left. Then my mother-in-law told me I tried my best, and in a little time she would understand, but it turns out she was planning something else entirely. This morning, when I went into the office, my boss asked me to see him. He sat me down and told me my sister-in-law had called him and tried to get me fired by saying lies about me. He told me if he did not know me very well or didn't trust me, he would have probably fired me. I was so shocked that she would target my work like that and try to get me fired. Well, boss was still angry and asked to explain why my sister-in-law would try to sabotage me. I explained to him what was going on, and I kid you not, he said that I crossed the line with my prank last time and now, well, she needed me to make up with her. Update number 2. Hey, it's been a month. Let me tell you, this update is a pretty good one. My last one was really heated, so you guys will probably appreciate this. This ended up working out even though a month ago I was super mad at my sister-in-law. Let me just explain what happened, see. You guys already know that I wanted to make up with my sister-in-law, but she was the one who attacked again. And this time it was not even a prank at my expense. She tried to take my job, so you can understand how mad I was. After finished writing, my husband came home. I told him what happened and he was even more angry at me and wanted to confront me right away. I asked him to wait a day so that I could talk to her face to face. See, last time I admit I crossed the line, but what I had done was not even a small percentage of bad if you compare it to what she did. She tried to take my job, which in the end would hurt my husband too. I mean, no matter whose side you were on, anyone would easily see how wrong she was here, right? So the next day, my husband and I went to my in-laws as soon as we could, and I just straight up confronted her. Guys, she had the audacity to not even be guilty about it and told me that she would keep doing things like this until it got into some kind of trouble. Her behavior made me mad, so I told her I wasn't just going to sit down and take it. I told her I was going to make her regret messing with me, and this time I was not going to hold back. I told her that if she messed with me again, it would not be good, and she told me that she would take one last revenge and she would cut me off. My husband asked both of us to calm down, but I just left the place and went home, and 2 days after that, my in-laws contacted me and asked me to come there once more. Turns out they had gotten really concerned for both of us and decided to make peace by force. Mother-in-law had forced my sister-in-law to be there, and my husband and father-in-law tried to convince us to just bury the hatchet. My husband makes a good point that the both of us had crossed the line and that it would be better for the family if we both just decided to stop here and did not do anything else. Well, I agreed. Father-in-law explained to Britta that if she had just spoken to me when she found out I was cheating, instead of trying to make a huge show of it, none of this would have ever happened. He explained that I never wanted to embarrass her, but even after that, I apologized. After this, she decided that the family was right. Guys, I apologized once more and she finally accepted it. Finally! Update number 3. Hey guys, it's been over 2 months since my last update, and what happened last time was a trick my sister was playing on me. In fact, she tricked all of us, including my family and you guys. Turns out she didn't care about the peace and quiet because she felt that she had not humiliated me or made fun of me or made me feel the same way that I made her feel and wanted to do something a bit more. You see, she only pretended to make up so that I would not suspect her and that she could pull anything on me. So when she found out from one of my friends that I was terrified of the dark and scared of all things ghostly, she made a plan. Obviously, I learned all of this only after it happened, as my friend told me that she was the one who leaked his information. It's true, I'm, scared of the dark and ghost. And it's not even a weird thing to be scared of. I mean, come on, it's a ghost. They're scary. I can't even watch any horror films. That's how much these kinds of things scare me. So when my sister-in-law found this out, it was clear to her what she needed to do to me. But before I tell you what happened, I need to tell you a small detail that happened a month before Britta executed her plan. So, I kinda got a small little heart attack. No, it was not very serious, although the doctors have recommended that I take a few days off and just chill and take less stress. All of which I did, and I was chill. Nothing major happened. Well, for a month nothing major happened, but then this happened. So one random day I was just watching something and then I heard a noise from the garage. But before I could reach it, I heard a scream. Let me tell you what happened from my sister's side. So she had this scary mask and hid in the garage to scare me. What she didn't know was that meeting my husband had been cut short. He was back home way earlier than she thought he would be. So when she started making noises to attract me and scare me, all she found was my husband looking to see what that noise was. She thought he was me and jumped out to scare him, and because he was so close, to her, he thought she was a threat. My husband's an ex-Marine, so let me tell you, he does not play around when something threatens me, or him. He thought it was a robber or something, and he just punched hard, and she screamed and fell to the ground. When we saw that it was his sister, we took her to the hospital and called the family. I found a camera she was using to record the prank, and after a while she woke up and Both my in-laws and other family members, along with me and my husband, were waiting for her to answer. And when she explained that the prank was for me, everyone got mad. This is because she knew that I suffered a heart attack as well, and she knew that doing this could have honestly induced another one, as it was my worst fear and it could have literally ended me. My husband was the most mad and asked her how she could do this to me after knowing what happened. She said that she didn't care and wanted to get revenge for what happened. He looked at me and told me that we were done with her, and that, he's cutting her off, and because even after this, she could not apologize. I told her that I really cared about her, but I was wrong to do so, and we left. As we were leaving, she was still saying that she was right in all this, and had done nothing wrong. In a few weeks, I found out that my in-laws sent sister-in-law to her aunt's place, who lives very far in a small town. They also cut her off from financial backing, saying the aunt is making her work very hard for every single penny that she uses. She didn't want to go, but she had no choice.